Hello everyone, this is Kozmic Kitsuneame here today, and it's me and Mike from Conspicuous Incredible Gaming, and we're just shooting the shit today because don't really have much else to talk about, and I think I've doled out enough Path to Nowhere videos to last a lifetime, but I'm enjoying that game.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Mike?
Yeah, so my main channel is Conspicuously Incredible Studio, although there's like nothing on it. The gaming thing kind of took off before the actual main channel was supposed to, but a lot of you who are familiar with me and the gaming and everything, you know, I drive a truck, so I'm pretty much about the end of my shift right now, and park somewhere and then get propped up and I don't know, do something or a bunch of nothing after that. So yeah, Fox got a hold of me. He's like, hey, you know, want to shoot the shit, kind of, you know, just talk about some stuff. So, all right, cool. You know, we've been wanting to do this for a while. So, I mean, yeah, any, you know, like I said, especially when I'm driving, the only thing I'm doing is holding the steering wheel. So,
Yeah, it's good to kill time every now and then. You know, not to mention it makes exercise go by quick, because, you know, ever since things have been what they are, I had to turn one room into a gym. Can't go to the gym no more, man. Place looks like a damn studio set now. it's,
yeah.
it's pretty crazy, man. Everybody gotta have like a little camera set up, and all I'm trying to do is just walk, exercise. I don't want to end up in somebody's damn video. It's just annoying. Man.
On my own physical studio house, I still got some more sanding and painting and shit like that to do, but hopefully the next time I'm home, I'll have my studio, my actual real studio at the house finished and get some work done in there. When I'm home, you know, I got enough material out here on the road, I can kind of do most everything, and then, I don't know, you know, I got a whole nice setup that, you know, hopefully I get going. I mean, I got a brand new, I mean, a no shit computer. Like, I mean, it'll do anything. It'll do anything and almost cook you breakfast too. But, oh fuck it. Nice webcam, green screen, you know, lights, all that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I'm hoping to get something like that off the ground eventually later. You know, like spend a lot of time out here when I'm on the road, like maybe writing a lot of that stuff. And then when I get home, actually produce some of the stuff. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a process. And for those of you watching this, I ended up turning one of my rooms to a bit of a studio, and I've been doing voiceover on Casting Call Club, and I'm really enjoying it. Still gotta learn a few things along the way, but it's been pretty fun. I could see myself just doing that for a long time. Wish I had gotten into it years ago. But, you know, time and just life. But
I was looking into it, but mainly being here on, I mean, I got a good microphone, but being out here on the road and the engine running and everything in this truck, you know, well, the GPS talking its ass off too. But I run refrigerated, so a lot of the times that's running too. So this microphone that I got would pick up everything and drown out everything. But yeah, I've been thinking about doing voiceover or voice acting too. But the only thing I'm really good at's the Cleveland Brown voice from Family Guy. Oh, now that's just nasty. That's got all of my stink of the day in there.
well, hell, man. It's still something to get into. I mean, anytime. I mean,
Yeah.
they got
You know,
paid gigs, unpaid gigs.
my main problem is with the voice acting is I would need a jump off point. I have a hard time like, okay, do a funny voice. Like, okay, well what? Like, you know, but I mean, if you said like, you know, I don't know, 1940s New York detective or with a little Columbo, or I don't know what the fuck ever, you know. Hey, how's it going, sweetheart? You know, shit, that's like Humphrey Bogart or some shit, isn't it? How's it going, sweet? Lucky woman. To the speak.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, you know.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, when I think of voice acting, I mean, stuff that inspired me. I mean, some of the earlier cartoons we had. I mean, we had some good cartoons back in the day. You gotta admit.
There was a point in time years ago, dude, I knew every voice actor, what they were in. I could, you know, watch something and go, hey, that's that person, or that's that other person over there. You know, I used to be able to do that quite a bit. Well, I mean, we actually had good shit too when we were growing up. You know, stuff that actually meant. We had stuff that wasn't dumbed down, like, you know, oh, well, it's just a bunch of, you know, dumbass 7 to 12-year-olds watching this. They ain't gonna understand, you know, the complex, you know, nuances of this situation. You know, like, yeah, it's just it's so dumbed down. It's like you're jiggling keys in front of kids anymore with a lot of this shit. It's just, you know, watch the dog bouncing ball. Like, I mean,
you know, that's why, like, I miss the old animes we had back in, like, in the 80s, 90s. They show blood and stuff, you know, like, I can go back and watch any old anime, like Vampire Hunter D or Blood C Plus or, like, Trigun.
Vampire shit, though, but, well, Vampire Hunter D was gory as hell. The first one was actually, I saw the second one first, then went back and saw this one, and I was, holy hell, the gore. Like, this is awesome as shit, though. But no, I mean, there's even, you know, like kids-oriented movies. Like one of my cousin's favorite movies to watch around Halloween was the movie from 1987, I believe it was, called Monster Squad, and it was about a bunch of these kids. Like, I guess it was kind of like this, you know, cryptid club or whatever. They want to study the monster stuff, and they ended up having a deal, and you know, it was kind of one of these, you know, some were bad, but like I think the Frankenstein or something was actually good, or one of them was actually, like, you know, decent, and they had to do all this shit. It was this whole, you know, how fucking actually when you mix it in with a lot of like medieval Saxon and kind of originating, you know, wizards and warriors and witches type shit. We had shit like that. We had shit like Little Giants that tackled a lot of the fucking, you know, like exclusionism and inclusion and all that in an actual, like, real productive way.
I mean, we had stuff like Static Shock. I mean, it talked about serious issues and stuff. I mean, I hate how it operates on this thing that all the kids are dumb kind of thing. Like, there were some kids like, oh, it's cool. I mean, there have been times I've watched anime, man, like, they had some real thought-provoking stuff in there. I mean, you'd be like, damn, why is this taught in class kind of thing? I mean, it's just, that's why it still maintains being a platform I'm able to enjoy even over movies and stuff, because it's like, the genre's just so big in terms of, like, categories and stuff you can watch. I always find something I can essentially like or grow on me or something. I mean, Yasha, we had a lot of other stuff. I mean, Toonami was great when we had it around. I mean, just, you know, it was a great, you know, introduction to stuff, but hell, I know
when it hit mainstream and everybody was watching, especially the college kids sitting around getting stoned and watching it and everything, and it's when it lost its, you know, it lost its charm. It's lost its kind of, I don't know. Going back to that Little Giants movie for a second, this is one thing I always wondered. You remember, and I know we're trying to like move on, but you remember that scene where they're trying to teach the kid how to catch because he couldn't catch. So they found out though that he could actually catch a roll of toilet paper. And I guess because he was afraid of the ball hurting him or whatever like that. So he found out the kid that could actually catch, he could just, it was only a roll of toilet paper. So he told the other kid that was like basically their play coach, the one that didn't really play, just come up with the plays. I think it was Rick Moranis was the coach for the quote misfit kids. And so he hands him he takes the toilet paper and he hands the kid the football and he goes, from now on with this, and he holds up the roll of toilet paper and he hands the football to the kid and goes, put this in the bathroom. What poor son of a bitch in the bathroom had to wipe his ass with a football?
That makes me wonder, man.
I mean, it's just like, there you do, all right, you start looking for the toilet paper and all you see is the football sitting on the toilet paper holder. Well, fuck, I guess I gotta use this. I mean, clog the toilet, but, it was just goofy.
I mean, back then you could just do funny stuff. I mean, I remember things could just be funny. I mean, it didn't have to have this insane deep meaning towards it.
Blazing was funny as shit. And it gets so much shit nowadays, but yeah, there was rough language. There was the word pushed around a lot. But like people don't understand, like, okay, yeah, they said the N-word a lot. But they made everybody who said the N-word look like an asshole. The whole town was just full of, towards misfit hicks. It was a movie about, not judging a book by its cover and yeah, it just. But it was funny, and the thing is, it was written by Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor, so.
A lot of people don't know that. Funny enough, I mean, like, just the whole thing about some things it's just there used to be some type of discretion when it came to things. I mean, it reminds me of when I watched this movie called Fritz the Cat. I think that kind of went over people's heads and stuff too, because
I've heard of that, yeah.
Well, it was a good movie. It was putting a mirror up to the current society. It wasn't condoning any of that. It was just saying, hey, this is some stuff that happens or has happened, and getting people to at least acknowledge that for what it is. And then when we live in an age that people want to turn a blind eye to virtually everything, it's kind of weird to me sometimes, because they want to highlight things that don't matter, but then they want to turn a blind eye to things that do or did have an impact at one point in time, and it just kind of ends up being like, what the heck, a little bit. Just it's like this level of sensitivity that is unjustified in many scenarios and stuff, and it's
the saying, can't see the forest for the trees, comes to mind.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen this happen to like the whole entire, just the side of culture. It's weird to see the pendulum swing that way, because it's like there's no longer a dissertion anymore. And I've noticed this with comedy, art, music. Anytime you're telling the comedian don't make a joke that can be taken out of context or whatever, you might as well just tell them don't say anything at all. I mean, anytime the dissertion can't.
You had to work on some presumption of innocence, like, look, I don't really mean this. I'm just saying this shit because of the laughs. Like, some of this shit, it's like you're looking at them. I mean, it's like, you over there acting up like, oh, well, God, it was the worst thing I ever heard. But you were thinking it too. Like,
yeah,
come on, that's what comedy is, though, is the acknowledgement of things that we really don't say or that people are afraid to say, but then acknowledging it right out there in the open. It's like we all think it. We're all thinking it. Like, come on.
I mean, that's the whole thing. It takes a certain level of like security to be comfortable with that, to be able to joke about oneself, and at the same time see a level of irony in the world, or just the act itself. But when you try to safeguard that and you rob people of that, then no understanding can possibly be there. I mean, it winds up with a bunch of people double thinking things. I mean, you don't want to double think, the jokes, but at the same time, you don't want to be so nonchalant the way you ain't taking into consideration where you are, where you at. I mean, this context and time with everything. That's why I get mad that the medium is gone. Like, I don't want to see safe comedy, but not everything need to be extreme as well either. I mean, we had a light-hearted element there to where there was, I'm gonna say I think the magic is gone, man. I just don't really see it that much anymore. It's not about caring or not caring. It's about being able in that moment to just say something funny to kind of distract from whatever crappy situation you may be going through or may be happening. For some people,
Well,
it's just part of their personality.
It was escapism. And now you can't even enjoy escapism without this shit coming back in and beating you over the head with it. You can't even escape anymore. I mean, you more or less have to go through, your your proverbial time machine and go back 20 years in pop culture to even find anything resembling something you can just kind of zone out and forget about stuff. And I mean, what side of the fence and what people this and that, like, you can still say that there was a lot of this propaganda or a lot of this kind of normalizing of things even then. Like, even the left now gives this whole, they want to demonize traditionalism and all this stuff, and all this stuff, years ago, and then gender roles, and it's ingrained in society. And yeah, there was a lot of works, a lot of stuff, I mean, dating way back, where it's, the husband, the wife, you remember a lot of cartoons back in the day.
Yeah, where it was heavily pushed. I mean,
over exaggerated. Everything was highly, for the comedic effect. But then, like, I remember growing up in a time where you, especially, sit down in front of the TV to watch cartoons. And you've got these, for all intents and purposes, and that's what the character's supposed to be, this kind of dorky, kind of, goofy, maybe short, big-nosed male character, going out of his way to, I don't know, fight bullies and buy the woman chocolates and flowers and take her out and this and that and whatever. And it come that shit don't really work. It was an overrated thing, but it was pushed on a lot of people, especially a lot of young boys, that's just the way you're supposed to act. That's just the way how things are. And
I mean, thing about it is, it's kind of funny because you look at nowadays, it's like the total opposite. And I pay attention to what's happening.
I don't know where or what the inversion was, because all this stuff for years, and there was. I remember even some people like George Carlin pointed stuff like this out. Maybe not as directly as I am, but just this rampant consumerism, this rampant traditionalism for the sake of traditionalism. I mean, the way Carlin put it, it was basically, just conditioning people to do this and that so that they can pump out another unit for the government to be able to tax and another tax chattel. And now all of a sudden it's like, we gotta reduce the population and we gotta this and that. Oh, I guess, somewhere it flipped. I guess maybe they got everything out of us they wanted to. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird where the inversion went and came from.
Well, I honestly think it came about at some point in the 90s because I don't think anybody ever really cared about a lot of this girl boss stuff. I just think it's when it became like the quote-unquote standard. It's so bad that whenever a new movie comes out, I already more or less know how it's going to start, how it's going to end, based purely off the trailers at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just not enjoyable. And I really didn't like how they were trying to go back and trying to humanize Maleficent and Cruella de Vil. They're villains for a reason. Not every villain is going to be redeemable or relatable. That's part of what makes them a villain. And this whole thing about it, I've seen villains, I like their design, I'm able to appreciate a hero and a villain for what it is. Villains are cool because how they look or how they're written. You know.
Oh, I mean, especially what Maleficent. That was Snow White's foil, right? Yeah.
I think so.
He only wanted Snow White dead because she was jealous of not being as pretty as the bitch. It was it. That was all. Pure and unadulterated jealousy.
I mean, there's a lesson to be learned in these things, and my issue with it being changed is that when you change something too much, it completely removes the lesson. Like, it completely removes the whole point of it. And that's, I mean, with all that stuff we grew up with, we knew that, you know, those old cartoons and stuff, the whole thing was about procreation and whatnot. I mean, low key, that's really what it was. But it's just, in that time period, that was the whole general idea, you know, we'll all start a family and whatnot. And that's what was like subconsciously kind of being there. And the thing is, conditioning is a very powerful thing. I mean, it's overlooked, but it's very powerful. From what you watch to how you move through life, and you're gonna get guidance one way or another. It's just the right kind you gotta be careful with.
I mean, you gotta, you know, keep having kids, you know, for the war effort. I guess. I mean, a lot of that shit did happen after World War II, where it just kind of just went off the fucking deep end with a lot of that shit. And like I said, I'm not shitting on traditionalism. I'm not shitting on, you know, having family, kids, you know, sending your legacy forward. You know, I'm not shitting on any of that, but it's, we got to come to a compromise here where, like, back in the day, a lot of that shit was presented to us as, well, this is just what you do. Shut your mouth, don't question it, fucking, you know, sacrifice yourself, whatever. This is just what you do. It's like, no, I think I'm going to ask a few questions here. You know, what am I getting out of it? What's the benefit? You know, like, am I actually going to make a difference or not? You know, like.
Well, that's the whole thing about it. You know, being able to ask those questions. I mean, I used to make this joke all the time about Aladdin. I know the Cave of Wonders was a euphemism for something, and me and a few friends. I know you were there. You heard about that. Like, I had to make that euphemism. Like, do not touch anything in the Cave of Wonders. Only touch the lamp. For those of you watching, I'm not going to spoil that joke. Just watch that movie and think about it. And really think about it. What is the Cave of Wonder really a euphemism for? You'll start to understand a look at life a little differently once you figure that out. You know, Abu touches something, everything just went down. I'm like, yep, that's how it go.
Yeah, well,
wasn't surprised. It's just, but to do all of that, you know,
that's what happens when you can't keep your monkey in check. Motherfucker be going off on its own, doing its own thing. You little son.
But to go through all that, I mean, the thing is, the message wasn't necessarily in that bad. I mean, like, okay, cool, be a good person. The problem is, it's when a message drones on so hardcore that it leaves little room for questioning at that point. I mean, I'm not really surprised that things are the way they are. I mean, it changed one message to another. I mean, too much of anything can be a bad thing, like whether it be, you know, the way it was or the girl boss crap. It's just like too much of anything can really poison the well.
And I know this is probably, you know, our bias because we grew up around this time. We grew up around, you know, everybody's going to say, oh, the, you know, the new shit's all evil and fucked up and the old shit was all lame. But, you know, like, a lot of the shit when we were growing up, they and like I said, I'm not going to sit here and beat this drum either. You know, I don't really advocate for the whole progressivism as it's touted today, but they did a lot of shit back in our day correctly. Like, we had a lot of strong especially female characters. Hell, characters of color. It didn't matter. Some with disabilities. It didn't fucking matter. They presented it to us in a way where it's like, okay, yeah, this person, they're not just some damsel, you know, up in a balcony waving a fucking handkerchief. Oh, save me, you know, like, I mean, you know, useless shit like fucking olive oil and Popeye. You know, oh, hell, bean bitch. That's always like, you can't, I mean, she was damn skinny. She couldn't do nothing anyway. Bluto would grab her up. She'd be beating the hell out of him with his fist. He's like, thanks. But, you know, we had characters like, you know, my favorite cartoon, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. We had Gadget Hack Wrench. Smart as a fucking whip. Yeah, she wasn't really strong. There was a lot of situations, yeah, she found herself in that she had to be rescued from. But at the same time, you know, there was a lot of shit that them guys could not do without her smarts, without her inventing shit. And on top of all of it, she wasn't a bitch. I mean, just to flat out, there was one scene I remember very vividly, and I still gotta go. It's been a while since I saw that shit from back to front too. There's one scene I remember vividly, and I think it was Chip and Dale were in the living room arguing about something. And now, in modern times, a woman would have to come in and interject, and oh, I'm gonna be moderator, and you gotta this and that. In the show, she walked in on them two arguing about something. And she just goes, well, I see you two are busy. I'll come back later. And just left. Them deal with their shit.
And that was a respectful way to go about it. Like, mad respect to that. I mean, we had characters that had an original personality, didn't have to be cookie cutter. And that was to me, as you were saying, the correct way to go about it. At least have it be done that way. Nobody wants really any character to be so insanely droning.
See, I mean, every character in that show had their strengths and their weaknesses. You know, Gadget was really, really smart, but I mean, she was also kind of scatterbrained, because I mean, real smart people do kind of, you know, have small short-term memory lapses too. Sometimes it comes with the fucking territory. You know, she wasn't necessarily like strong. You know, she couldn't really fight that much. I mean, maybe she had some of the weapons and shit that kind of was an equalizer. You had Chip was like the overly serious. You know, he was a good leader, but he was a stick in the mud. You had Dale, kind of goofy, got into trouble a little bit, but you know, he had a good sense of humor, comic relief. You had Monterey, big and strong, but sometimes his fucking weakness for cheese got in the fucking way. I don't know. I think, you know, they couldn't outright say, you know, alcohol or rum or women or whatever. But I mean, he had his weakness too. They put them in a lot of fucking trouble.
Well, that's so the whole thing. And Zipper was the mascot.
Zipper was the mascot. Yeah. Well, Zipper had his moments where he was able to help too. There was that time they were locked in, I think it was Monterey's chest or some shit like that before they sank it. It's like this was the 5-part like origin story that they ended up doing like in the middle of the season for some fucking reason or another. And he was the only one that could fit through the keyhole. So he went out to the keyhole and did whatever and was able to get some help or do something. But nobody else was able to get out of the thing. Like, or there's places high up where nobody else could really get to it. He just fly up there and go, you know, whatever. Like, he had his usefulness too.
Well, that's the thing, you know, like, they actually knew what a team was. You can't have one person always be this jack of all trades in every situation. And it's just kind of, when I see, you know, these modern characters, especially one particular series, I mean, they've ruined some series, man. Like Star Wars being one of them. I mean, I couldn't. And then first was Star Wars, then Star Trek. I remember watching Star Trek, and that was nothing but philosophy. I could close my eyes, watch the old episode of Star Trek, and just kick back, don't even have to think about it because that's what it is. I mean, a lot of lessons in that too. But I wanted something more of the action variety, then there was Star Wars. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the whole the thing. The Federation, I think, in Star Trek was the prime directive. The prime directive was not to interfere with underdeveloped worlds, right? I think that was the prime directive. But there were times when, like, outside forces were screwing with these people, and they had to intervene, or sometimes they had to break the prime directive, and sometimes they shouldn't have, but sometimes, it seemed like the morally justified thing to do. But when you got, like, the Klingons or whatever like that, or the Vulcans trying to destroy this planet for, I don't know, whatever their own reason was, and I'm not even a big Star Trek fan. Like, I'm just kind of, going off on, like, what I do know. They had to interfere, and like I said, yeah, it was a whole, how much does the prime directive really matter in this situation? Like, there's another outside force coming in and screwing with them too. So, like, at this point in time, we kind of gotta step in. But yeah, it was all philosophy. It was all, trying to get along, and well, I mean, the whole thing too. By the time Star Trek had come along, or not but I mean, like, the events of Star Trek, the story, that far in the future, there was really no need for anything because they had the replicators, they had all this and that. So they were basically out exploring for the exploring.
The way I always look at it, funny enough, is I always look at Star Wars as going, like, towards the past, and Star Trek going towards the future. They kind of have that weird duality thing going on with that. Because one's trying to push towards the future, the other one just kind of starts off going backwards. And so, it, the whole thing about it, I mean,
Star Wars was about preserving the past. Star Trek was about progressing to the future. Yeah, I can see that.
That's what I, more or less enjoyed about it. I mean, at the very least, I mean, my only, real gripe, about a lot of these new movies and stuff, I never really like changing the characters around and stuff. That doesn't really, if you're not making original characters, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I can respect something if it sucks, if the characters are at least originals, but all this stuff ranging from, like, the Cowboy Bebop, live action. I'm kind of burnt out on live actions for a while. I might give One Piece, like, a shot, but I think that's probably going to be my last go at it.
I didn't even know they were making that, but didn't they learn from Dragon Ball Evolution? Which I've never even seen that.
One can hope.
I heard it was bad.
It was beyond bad, man. I think a bunch of fans could have done better. I mean, the craziest thing is I've seen fans make better.
The fans have done better, and with a lot less. Well, I mean, even in the realm of video games, before Capcom decided to revive and move forward again with the classic Mega Man series, a couple of guys come out with either hacks, and these other guys come out with Mega Man Unlimited, and it was a 8-bit, retro style. This was like what? Because you had Mega Man 8 was the last one on the newer consoles. Then 9 and 10 kind of went retro again, but it took them. Mega Man 8 come out in what, like 96, 97, something like that, and 9 and 10 kind of released almost at the same time. It took them like till 2014, 2015 or something like that to fucking make them. And it's like, the fans got together. We'll make our own with blackjack and hookers, and It was. I haven't totally beat Mega Man Unlimited, but it was everything you ever want in the fucking Mega Man game. I mean, everything. So
that's the thing. I mean, like, You hit the nail on the head. Like a lot of fans would just be like, you know what? All right, we'll do it ourselves. I mean,
Like that scene in Futurama where what was it? I think it was Nibbler's birthday or something, and then Bender come in and antagonized him, and Nibbler bit him in the ass and chipped his fang. And she's poor baby. She's kissing Nibbler, and Bender goes, "I got a busted ass. I don't see anybody kissing it." And Zoidberg gets him, goes, "All right, I'm coming."
Ow! My ass! Get off! Get off!
Are you all right?
It's nothing a lawsuit won't cure.
Not you. Oh, poor baby. Chipped a fang. Oh.
Hey, I got a busted ass here. I don't see anyone kissing it.
All right, I'm coming.
oh man. but yeah, I mean it's Futurama was good too. I mean there were so many low-key references in that I was always laughing. You know, one show that made me sad that it ended was Regular Show.
I never watched a lot of that. I think I watched a good part of the first season, but there was a lot of shit going on in my life too at that time, and it's definitely going to be something I'm going to have to go back to.
I mean, Regular Show was good, man. It had a good life message in there. I mean, it's just we had a lot of good shows to pull from. That's the whole thing about it. I
mean, the two main things I remember from Regular Show though was when they, like I said, this is like first season, when they found that keyboard that granted them wishes or whatever. Come on, Benson. Well, can't even remember which one was which. Mordecai was the bird, right?
Yeah, he was the swallow, and Rigby was the I think Rigby was a raccoon or something like that.
And one time he goes, "Hey, you call me crazy, but one day Ham Boney's gonna save your life." And then all of a sudden, like, just in the middle of the starts like ham boning. Fucking got him out of it. Like, fuck.
I think the batteries just died.
What? Hurry up, dude!
The batteries are dead! What? Ham Boney will save your life someday. It'll be all like, what? You trying to mug me? I'm telling you, dude. Ham boning. I know what to do. Hold this. Ham boning.
I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah, you know, one character I did appreciate, I'm not gonna lie, man, like, I know we all hated Benson when we were younger. We all, to the people watching this, we all knew of Benson when we were younger. But damn, do I understand his festivity. Just crap. I mean, you get older, you start to kind of understand that he had to mellow out. But when it wasn't Benson, it was, what was that other character? Oh, yeah. I like Muscle Man, too, because Muscle Man just say whatever the hell happens to be on his mind. I mean, that I can't appreciate. You know, just, that dude was just hold nothing back, practically. You know, just, and, you know, they had a good, interesting cast and everything. I just miss those thought-provoking shows. One of the last thought-provoking shows I remember watching, funny enough. For those of you watching this video right now, check out BoJack Horseman. I must have watched that whole thing twice. It was very profound. Because it really did touch upon, you know, real life issues. All the characters, or at least some of the characters, had some relatability. Depending on if you've, you know, gone through anything. But I miss cartoons like that that weren't afraid to push that boundary. I mean, hey, this is going to be... Because when I saw it, I just thought it was like a funny thing, but they had some good moments in there too. Now, we got cool stuff out there. I didn't expect Lackadaisy to be animated. I mean, that's
So
all that's.
there's a lot of shit I haven't seen and I'm behind on. I should watch that one. I mean, I heard a lot of people saying Archer was pretty good too.
Oh yeah,
I never
Archer was
really-
pretty good.
Never really
I-
watched that one either.
I would check it out, man. I mean, I remember late nights watching Space Ghost. I mean, I'm kind of a a glutton for thought-provoking stuff like that. You know, like
You
it doesn't
talking
even
about, talking about Coast to Coast?
yeah.
So yeah,
You know, back
I remember that. I remember that being on back in the mid '90s when they first came up with that, because that's basically the genesis of a lot of the shit they did later on in the Adult Swim block was Space Ghost Coast to Coast. But I didn't really get it at the time. I can probably go back now and watch it and kind of get it. But even so, like later on, their shit was real hit and miss.
yeah.
12-ounce Mouse was fucking stupid. Tom Goes to the Mayor was atrocious.
Yeah.
Fucking. What was it? The other one that was the Brack Show was. I don't know what the fuck. But then they struck gold with Aqua Teen. They struck gold with well, Squidbillies was kind of a whole original thing. They just made them characters up.
I thought that was really funny. And then there was I'm trying to remember that other one.
Oh, C Lab 2021.
Yeah, dang, you hit it right on the you hit it right on the head, man. C Lab. We had stuff like C Lab and Aqua Teen. I mean,
that captain, whatever, was just nuttier than a shithouse rat. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're under the sea like that and no other contact with much anybody for that long.
man, you know the original Scooby Doo was such a hit. Remember all them knockoff versions of Scooby Doo and like just
I don't know why they needed to even. Well, apparently they put Scrappy Doo in there to try to appeal to the younger kids, and it just did not work out. I mean, I still think to this day probably the most hated cartoon character of all time.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie,
I mean-
Scrappy Doo was annoying. To anyone watching this, that was a very annoying character. Like even back then, he was very annoying. Puppy power! Like get off the screen, man. I'm supposed to see this.
Rightus.
Oh, get over it! So I got a little cranky!
Gee, Scraps, no reason to freak out like a jerk and try to kill all humanity.
I would have gotten away with it too, if not for your meddling sons of...
No, what was it? Robot Chick did a thing years ago, and Scrappy come out and I think there was like they were doing the whole Scooby-Doo mystery thing, and it didn't even bring him up till like the end, and Scrappy slides in like fucking Tom Cruise style, ta-ta-ta-ta, puppy power, and I think it was either Scooby or Shaggy just football punts him. Doesn't say shit, just boonk. Flies the distance. It's like, yep, we all were thinking it, and you did it.
Yeah, I mean, heck, I can't freaking stand that damn thing, man. It's like you gotta experiment with certain things too, like with comedy cartoons. You gotta experiment with this, but when people too scared to do it, I mean, we end up with what we got now. As you saw what they did to Scooby Doo, and that that one show just.
The new with the Velma.
Oh man, that was hard to watch. I hated it until I started laughing near the end, because we're not the target audience. I mean, what's scary about that show is had it been done in any other way, most people probably wouldn't even notice it. That's the funny part about it. I mean, in a weird way, I don't care if people get mad at me for saying this. We kind of earned that show with the way a lot of people act nowadays. Every joke is overly explained and every scene carries over. I'm just gonna freaking flat out say it. We kind of flipped the bird on that one, but I started just laughing at it because I realized, I ain't the target audience. We ain't the target audience. It's this. That whole show is like a reaction in a weird way to, like, it just sums up everything.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, it's almost like Kaufman-esque. Like, how serious is it really? Is it really real? Is it really like so serious that it's actually subversive? Like, I'm kind of wondering if that show really was. you know, a lot of the people that worked on it thought they were like, just sticking it to the culture and sticking it to, oh yeah, see, but like, when you start going over the top that way, it almost comes back full circle. Where I wonder if this shit wasn't made like that on purpose to poke fun at a lot of this stupid shit. Like, it's like I said, it's that Andy Kaufman, that comedian from a long time ago, fucking would just do shit, and it's like, is he for real, or is it, it was some shit. He opened his mouth up one day about something about, I don't know, wanting to have a wrestling match or fighting women or some shit like that, or he could whatever. And so he actually set up this shit, and fucking were like in like a like the whole professional wrestling kind of WWE style. We're fighting these women, like clotheslining them, knocking them down, power bombing them, and shit like that. And like everybody was appalled. Oh my God, he's beating up women. He's this and he's that, and like he had to have paid these women. And like, look, I'll pay you real good. I might rough you up a little bit, but this is a thing. But like, he played it off as, no, he really did that shit. So much so to the point at the time, Jerry the King Lawler was still wrestling, has a big beef with him, and, well, you want to fight women, well, come on, fight me, and this and that. And so it was shit said, and then on the fucking Letterman show, fucking Kaufman come out from the fucking back or something, like, you sir are an asshole. Lawler was on that night too. You sir are an asshole. Fuck you. And Letterman's like looking at the camera, looking around, doing the whole like hand at the throat, like cut it, like quick, cut it. It came out that the whole thing between him and Lawler was staged and everything, but it was, at the time, it was so raw, so real and immediate that nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Nobody had no clue that this shit was all an act from the beginning. And that's what I mean, like, how with this some of this shit, like, it's almost a double parody onto itself.
You see why medium is necessary, though? I mean, there are people that go way too far with shit, but when the medium has been destroyed, like I said before, like, we end up with stuff that's completely safe or just over the top because any chance of medium's just been destroyed. I mean, you can't go off and hellblaze people for experimenting with something and then turn around and go, oh no, we want it this way. And so, regards to Velma's show, if it was made to poke fun of it, then I get it. But if they thought they were like really sticking it to somebody, then they kind of played themselves in that regard, because I'm thinking all of that could easily be reflected back. And so the pendulum, here's the thing, the pendulum may swing from left to right, but here's the thing, you throw something out there, it's going to come back, and you might not like it when it swings back on you. With anything, context matters. And don't throw what you can't catch. If you're going to do a bit or whatever, then at least has some sensibility or common sense about it. I see these prank videos and people running around doing this stuff and getting hurt. I mean, that's over the line. I mean, anytime you doing stuff that could potentially land you in the hospital, and it's kind of like cut, kind of like that's when the cameras thought they'd be cut, because it's just everybody wants to be sensation now. That
kid that threw water on that dude's vehicle out of a gas can and threatened like he was going to light his vehicle on fire. Like, anybody with any kind of, gumption for self-preservation and protection of their property and shit, I mean, you try that shit in the wrong place. Like, he's lucky that man was older and probably had his hands full of groceries or whatever like that, because that dude could have easily been put right down, and it would have been a sheer mistake. As they say, when you fuck around, you find out. But no, I was gonna interject, because you're talking about like things being a parody in and of it. I just found out, not too long, about a week or so, shit comes up on YouTube all the time. The Mike Judge film.
Oh, crap.
All of a sudden, I'm drawing a blank on it. Fucking Idiocracy. God damn it.
Idiocracy. Dang. All right. No worries.
The scene where he's in the movie theater and they're showing the movie Ass, and that's all it was. For an hour and a half was just an ass on screen. Remember that?
That my memory is a bit hazy on, but fill me in.
Apparently, in that movie, all the people that they had in the theater, like around the guy, like were like college-age kids or some shit like that. They didn't let them in on the joke. They just sent them all in there, and then played the ass on the screen. It probably only went on really for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, you know. But the laughs in the crowd were all genuine. Like, they really got a kick out of just an ass being up there for 7 minutes. And it's kind of like, damn, like, how far into idiocracy are we really? Because nobody asked questions. Nobody was like, okay, so what are we watching here? Like, this is stupid. Like, no, they all sit there giggled like fucking schoolgirls. Like, well, that's in on it. The main character, the main actor, was looking around like, what the fuck? You know, like.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, I used to say this, and to this day I say this, is like, if a person is going to go after the joke or the one making it, keep that same energy when that thing actually happens, or the possibility of it actually does happen, because usually when I see it does happen, people like deer in the headlights. They either won't complain about it all, or it's like deer in the headlights. So you're more mad about somebody saying it as opposed to someone actually doing it.
Where did this come from? Like, you know, like you didn't see that shit coming. I mean, and there's a lot of other theories and shit like that too. But they say, you know, like the whole Simpsons predicting the future kind of shit. And I mean, I get it, but you can't run a show for, you know, 30-some, almost 40 years without getting some shit right. But even South Park, the way they parodied a lot of shit over the years, even they've been anywhere from 10 to 7 years ahead of a lot of this shit. There's people now acting surprised. Yeah, they've been doing this. They were ahead of this shit a long time ago. When you hear people talk about, like, you know, The Onion and the Babylon Bee basically having a hard time writing shit, because I mean, it's getting quick. Like, they'll write something and 6 months later actually a thing. Hell, there was one time they wrote something in like a week or two, maybe the weekend after it was a thing.
Well, you know, the whole thing about it is, like, I wish I could feel bad for this particular thing, but now they got an AI beating, you know, humans in writing. I don't have any real sympathy for the writers and actors, you know, marching out there. You know, this is the second time this happened in 63 years. It's like, when you constantly dole out stuff that people don't like and don't want to watch, this is going to happen. And like with the Skullgirls thing you were mentioning, they'll do all this stuff and try to turn around and blame the fans. How dare you don't like what we do?
We were talking before you started recording for this, where they're retroactively going back, and like, this isn't even like they imported something from Japan and localized it, and they've been doing that for years. But you know, certain things. But a game like Skullgirls that's been out for shit, this game's been out at least 6, 7, 8 years, something like that, and now start stuff like shots and jiggle physics and like now.
I mean, that's the whole thing that is just messed up to me. People want to have a fan service but rob people of theirs. I mean, that's why I don't like it when people try to inject realism, too much realism into fantasy, and it seems to kind of go one way for whatever reason. That pendulum never seems to swing the other way, but it just seems to always go one way with that. And the whole thing is, if you want to piss off your target audience, go for it, but don't turn around and blame the fans and be like, how dare you not like
the only difference between mental masturbation and physical masturbation is that after I'm done, I have something to show for it. You know, like, I mean, I have to clean it up with a paper towel, but at least, you know, I got something out of it. This shit here just, you know.
Did it. Check it out.
Because no, the thing is, all this goofy woke shit, pandering to whatever base. This is just fan service for, emotionally stunted people. Is all this is. I mean, at least with gratuitous nudity and stuff like that. Yeah, it's base. It's honest to God filth. It's good clean filth. It is what it is, and never anything else other than what it is.
That's what's like really annoying about it. Like, to me, it's like people want something original, but then they complain when they get in what. And the pandering really makes me angry to a degree, or used to make me very angry, because it's like, why would you pander to someone who is not even going to watch the thing that you're going to make in the first place? Like, imagine you've had a series running for 40 years, nobody complained, nobody said anything. All of a sudden, a couple of people complain, okay, now we got to take this character out. Simpsons did that. Took out the Bumblebee, took out Apu, and nobody had a problem with those characters. Nobody even cared. But when you remove these characters, now it's like saying, oh, they're not good enough to be in the show. Let's put in this safe version of this thing. It's an insult, whether people notice that or not.
They did this shit 20-some years ago with Speedy Gonzales. There was a point in time where they would not show Speedy Gonzales cartoons on TV at all. Oh, well, it's a Mexican caricature and it offends Mexican people. And then they interviewed a lot of Mexican people. No, we that mouse funny as shit. Like,
dude, I went to a restaurant once and saw Speedy Gonzales on the damn wall. I mean, if anything.
And wanted to call it STEAM, and the A means art. And I'm like,
God.
I'm like, no, STEM is supposed to be hard science. I mean, the fact that we even have to have science separate from technology, engineering, and mathematics, like, they all kind of go together anyway. But I mean, whatever, we can kind of. But then they want to throw art in there, and I'm like, look, okay, when you come down to things like engineering and you make shit and whatever with your hands, and you got to be there is a certain amount, like in architecture, where you do have to kind of follow an aesthetic, but the whole saying in architecture is form follows function. If it don't work, it don't matter what the fuck it looks like. So the thing is, yeah, I can understand that you can call something, a building, a coliseum or whatever with the intricate shit. Well, you can call it a work of art, a masterpiece. That's fine, but you can't lump that shit in with the hard sciences with the same shit as taping a banana to a fucking wall.
I completely.
Because art is subjective. Art is what I mean. You've seen the whole, like I said, the taping a banana to a wall. There was some woman. This was probably about 5, 6, 7 years ago, in the middle of a town square somewhere or another, taking eggs that she had hollowed out or whatever, and then filled with paint, shoving them up her vagina, and then standing over a fucking canvas and letting them splatter and calling that art. I mean, these motherfuckers that get on TikTok and shit fill up a bucket with holes in it full of paint and spin it around on a fucking canvas from a rope and call that, spirograph is fucking art. Even the whole shit with Bansky. You remember Bansky, right?
Oh, yeah.
Made that fucking work of art, and as soon as whoever fucking bought that shit at the auction, he hit a button and shredded it. And just the whole kind of outrage and the outlandish shit. I mean, there have been people who have left fucking janitor's carts or a pile of trash in a museum against a wall, and people stand there and scratch their chin. What does it mean? Somebody took a pair of fucking glasses and put it on the floor, and everybody stood around. What does it mean? Oh my God, it's so profound. Like, no, somebody just put a fucking pair of glasses on the ground to fucking troll you sons of bitches. Like, you can't conflate that with hard science, chemistry, fucking molecular, all this shit, subsonic fucking physics. You can't conflate that shit. Mathematics, hard sciences, technology, engineering. You cannot conflate that and include that even with art. You can't put chemistry and fucking, you know, molecular fucking physics and time theory and shit like that into the same category as fucking, you know, spirograph, Etch-a-Sketch, fucking, you know, yeah, Van Gogh and you know, Salvador Dali and all. There were, yeah, fantastic fucking works of art.
You know what?
Not science.
You know what's scary about all this? It's gonna come a point in time where someone's gonna like jump up and say, "What is art?" I mean, it's gonna freaking happen at this point.
Well, see,
that's why I get.
This is the whole thing about gatekeeping. And people, you can't gatekeep. You keep people out. You make people that probably had a potential to do this and that, and they don't want to make them not want to do it. If you gatekeep, the thing is, you have to gatekeep. Because if whoever has an interest in it, supposedly has an interest in what the thing is, and already is, and what it should be about, should not give a shit about this, that, the barrier to entry, whatever. You need to be interested in the thing. You can't go to this thing and want to change it to pander to your fucking, you know, sensibilities. You can't come up to this thing with some low effort bullshit. You know, you can't, you know, even in art, you can't take a fucking stick figure and go to a museum and go, well, you got to put my shit on the wall. It's art too. Like, no, there's a barrier for entry. There's a certain amount of, you got to put effort in. You know, and it's, the thing is, once you start letting low effort people do low effort shit, it drags the meaning and of everything down. You dilute what exactly it meant in the first place. And this is the same whether it comes for any industry. It's pop culture too. There's this thing going around or whatever. I've seen it a couple times, and every time it comes up, it pisses me off for the whole goddamn day. It's supposed to be a picture of fucking Rob Zombie standing beside that Japanese group Baby Metal. And oh, well, they're heavy metal too. See, it's in the name, and they're having their music system. And that. No, I've heard this shit. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right music, but you cannot call Baby Metal heavy metal. The music goes a little hard, but they're all singing kawaii fucking, you know, J-pop shit. And it's, you know, it's not about fucking, you know, fighting demons and ripping fucking people's heads off and shitting down their neck holes. It's just the most banal shit. It's just heavy music behind it. If you want to call it metal J-pop fusion and kind of make it its own thing, if you want to call its own genre baby metal, you know, but it's not heavy metal. They are not the same as Pantera, as fucking, you know, they're not the same at all.
You know, the old saying goes, nothing new under the sun. And I've had that same problem with people saying, I've encountered people like, especially in the past, saying they hate techno, but they like trance and all the other. They like everything beyond it except that thing. That's how I know I'm dealing with an a-hole. Like right off the bat, it's just they.
But see,
people that don't know their genres, man.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is, like, I'm not really big into techno, really not big into trance. I mean,
I'm using just as an example.
I know enough about, like, say, trap and fucking dubstep to know the difference between those. But, like, that's about it. But if I were to come up with some shit and it sounded like something, I would accept, okay, it sounded like this one thing. I'm not going to go through and go, well, you know, I expect my, you know, lo-fi whatever beats to be fucking country music. You got to accept me and play me on country music.
That's the point I'm making, though, you know.
Like I said with the whole baby metal thing, if you want to make your own genre and call it, like I said, hell, call it baby metal. You know, or like I said, J-pop rock fusion, you know, J-pop metal fusion, you know, heavy J-pop, like, call it something else. But to sit there and, no, it's heavy metal, like a lot of these people, it's heavy metal. No, it's not heavy metal. That's
the point that I'm making, though, is like, here's the thing, whether somebody's a fan or not, it's when people try to redefine what the genre actually is, there's always going to be some evolution of something. But when they try to erase
and let it go off on its own branch naturally.
Yeah, like
But you can't conflate that shit with the fucking heavy metal groups of the 80s, especially the 80s and 90s. You can't mix that shit in with the same. It's not the same. It's similar. It's different enough that it needs to be its own thing, but it's not the same. And it all goes back to, like you and I have been saying, make your own. With the we're gonna this character and these characters and they're gonna do this and fat acceptance. Make your own. Stop fucking with. But it shows a complete lack of confidence on their part that their ideas actually have any fucking feet. Because they know if they can't subvert what is already popular, they're never gonna get a fucking toehold in this shit. That like they want it to. I mean, instead of creating the art for the sake of the art itself and the actual creating and putting shit out there in the universe, no, it's all activism. That's all it is, activism. They're gonna subvert what's already there to use that shit as a stepping stone to push their activism. Because they know their shit doesn't have legs on its own.
That's what pisses me off, like, about anything, any particular standpoint or even argument of any kind. Like, I get mad when there is absolutely no foundation to back the very thing someone is claiming. I mean, even if it's going to be a personal one, fine, make that point clear. At the very least, and that's what upsets me about this stuff, like the cherry picking and the mess with characters, mess with genre. Like, make something new. You are not gonna have that level of conviction if you're constantly rehashing the same thing. It's just gonna piss people off, which it unfortunately has, to the point where people don't even care about the genre anymore.
With them, it's not about making something new. It's not about art for the sake of art and putting it out there. It's about their activism. That's all it is. It is about their activism. And they know they have to subvert, whatever the fuck's out there, what's already established. They know they have to subvert it because their shit don't have legs without it. I mean, it's... That's it. It's a sad state of affairs, but that's just it. If I wanted to send a story out there or what, I would just make my own shit. I would, for the sake of, okay, I created this. I put this new thing out here in the universe and turned around and did, like Ethan Van Sciver did. Now they coming after him. Well, you can't this and you can't. Well, you told me to make my own, and I did. So what are you mad about?
When
they eventually, because it will happen, when they eventually become the mainstream, when they eventually become bigger than these now established shit because they've done shit to bed, do not let any of these fuckers back in. Oh, well, we're sorry. We want to work with you. We just didn't know. We didn't think this and that. Please give us a job. No, go eat a dick. Go eat all the dick. Because we saw what you did before. You can't, because they're parasites. You can't let them back in.
That's
you have
why...
to ring fence and gatekeep these motherfuckers.
That's why when all this shit comes to an end and the pendulum swings back, I hope that they're remembered. And I hope that they're never allowed to be brought back into the fold again. Because they have shown who they are. They've shown how they act. I mean, dude, I've had to deal with people making lame excuses to go after entertainers. Well, they didn't want to get hit with a shot glass, or what, they shouldn't have been on stage. I mean, I made this joke, and I've been making for a while because I was bored one day, and it's probably not the funniest thing in the world, but it's funny to me. A singer, a comedian, and an artist walk into a bar. The comedian gets booed and kicked. The singer has a projectile whiz at him and it hit him. And then the artist wakes up 2 weeks later and goes, I think they were after us. Whew. He been in the hospital 2 weeks, bro. Didn't see that coming. Didn't realize we were kind of on the same side, huh? It's just one of them things, man. It's just these people that bought into this and like and justified this crap. I hope they're never brought into the fold ever again, because it's just they showed their ass. They really did.
And here's the thing too. Yeah, the pendulum's gonna swing back. But I hope it doesn't swing back real fucking far again. Like we don't need another like satanic panic shit from the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit either. So I mean, because that's what turned a lot of us when we were in our late teens, most of our 20s. Like that's why a lot of us were liberal or closer to liberal. Because we didn't agree with all that horse shit either. But then they just took it way too fucking far. And it's like, wait a minute here. We just asked for a little sensibility. You're doing the same shit that they were fucking doing, but accusing them of this, and you don't see the irony in this? Like,
it's ironic. I have a lot of sympathy for Gen Z. Or rather, I empathize when I'm on a level. Some of them don't even know what they're walking into with this, but it's ironic, and it goes in cycles. Like, I have long had the prediction that they're probably going to be the most reserved out of all of us, almost akin, probably to the silent generation. Give them enough time, they might get really sick of a lot of crap, and just kind of buckle down.
They're gonna be. I think they're going to be the most traumatized generation too.
Well, that too. That's why.
But I mean, when you get trauma like that, you eventually end up, if you can power through it, you eventually end up developing such a thick skin that you just don't care. You become a fucking juggernaut, basically. And
that's the thing.
If you screw with enough of these people, they've seen how either themselves were put through a lot of this shit, their friends were put through a lot of this shit, some of them ain't got the same opportunities or whatever as they could have because their parents screwed everything up. They're gonna be pissed, really pissed.
Yeah. And they're gonna have to go through that period of anger. And that's the sad part about it. They now a lot of people don't understand that particular thing. You remember like being teens when you remember that crap. They're gonna the difference between us, like, we rebelled. When people told us no, we went out there and did it anyway, like flipped everybody off and rebelled. I can't really see that happening with them because they're kind of already in the thick of it. I see them just kind of like going, "I'm the juggernaut, bitch," and just hitting every fucking wall. I mean, we jumped over the damn thing. I see them just kind of bulldozing the rest of them damn things.
Yeah, we jumped over it and turned around and flipping the bird as we fucking ran off and kept going. They're gonna Hulk smash everything. Like, nope. They ain't no jumping over it. Like, no, it's out of our way. Fucking, it's going.
We knocking that damn thing down.
I mean, at least with us, you jump over the other side of that wall, flip at the bird. If you don't keep moving, that wall can tip back over and fall on you. They're like, nope. No, there ain't gonna be no wall left. Because we're destroying it all. I mean, yeah, they will flat out not give a fuck. If they are going to be put through as much shit now, and they realize later on just how much they were lied to, how much bullshit and abuse they were fucking put through, how much they were fucked out of a future. Oh, they are going to be some pissed off motherfuckers. I mean, you already see that some with the fucking millennials.
The thing about it is, like, with millennials and stuff, it was late.
It was very late. The very last, like, a couple of years of millennials, because I mean, they're already bitching about like home ownership is out of reach for a lot of millennials. If it's out of reach for a lot of millennials, Gen Z ain't got a chance.
That's the whole thing about it. I made this prediction, and those of you watching this right now, let Gen Z hit maybe 25 or 30. You're going to see something very interesting take place. And the sad part is, I know you know what it is. I know what it is. A couple of us know what it is. Most people don't know what it is. You're gonna see a strange flip over. That's gonna be like, it really is gonna be some juggernaut level shit. They really are not gonna give a damn.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
It's gonna be the fucking Crusades again, probably.
Because nobody likes being screwed with like that, lied to and screwed with continually. And then if you go over there and let's say you're going to apply to play, because you know what happened when people try to play the shame game with us. They got two middle fingers. They're not going to, you're not going to be able to shame them. That's the whole thing about it. Shaming them will only cause them to triple down. They're not going to double down. They're going to triple down. So if they were already doing A, B, and C before, it's going to be done. And a lot of people don't realize, like, that is what's being set up for the most part. People do need guidance. People do need, I mean, kids especially need guidance, need to have people there for them. I mean, I hope that I live long enough to kind of have their back on some things because, you know, that's a very messed up position to be in. And you and I know that, Rage. You know, it's not gonna, there's no justification for what has happened to a lot of people. And truth be told, a lot of that ain't their fault. I'm just flat out say it. A lot of that really isn't. They came into it.
No, a lot of this shit, most of this shit is top down.
Yep,
it's
trickled.
I mean, it starts with the subversion of the culture. It starts with the mass media communication and the brainwashing and the fucking conditioning. And it's, I mean, even like I said, with the boomers and everything, the after World War II, the vast consumerism and like I said, I'm not even one of these anti-capitalist type of people, but I mean, like, they really push the consumerism, and then the boomers, the same ones pushing out all this shit, pushing out all this propaganda, pushing out all this consume, another 20, 30 years down the road, all of a sudden backs up and goes, oh no, well, wait a minute, we can't be, we got to do this, we got to, like, the children, we got to be more sensible. I mean, what do we have? What do we have in the fucking 40s, 50s, 60s, something like that? But 4 out of 5 doctors smoke Camels, the healthy smoke. Now the same goddamn company that puts out cigarettes are the same ones that put out them truth ads about don't smoke. Like how big a fucking set of brass balls do you gotta have to make a product, get people hooked on it, and then all of a sudden also fund the campaign to say don't buy our product? Like, that's some brass fucking balls.
I mean, you gotta look at the hilariousness behind it, though. This is why, you know, it's like that movie, Thank You for Not Smoking. This is why I always try to pay attention to history. I mean, if you don't know where you've been, you are not going to know where you're going, and that is very true. I mean, staying informed is key. And it doesn't mean that, you know, everything you see here going to be correct. But as the old saying goes,
yeah, we know broken clock is right twice a day. But I mean,
yeah,
I mean, I've heard this other shit from somewhere somewhat related, but not really. That whole, you know, when they do that shit at work or whatever, there is no I in team. There is no I in team. And I heard somebody go, yeah, but there is an I in dick. It was a comedian or whatever. The whole shtick was he was always calling in from from work to the radio show, and fucking his boss was always on his ass about, you know, dicking around and wasting time at work. Come on, Donnie, there's no I in team. And he whips around, yeah, but there is an I in dick. Actually, that guy that you know, doing that guy died Friday.
Damn.
Ron Sexton, native of Indianapolis. I think he lived in Florida, though. Moved to Florida. Did the whole Donnie Baker character, Floyd the Trucker, a lot of them on that Bob and Tom radio show. Yeah, he died Friday at fucking age 52. Young as shit. Fucking kind of a crying shame. As the dude was hilarious as hell.
Yeah, he will be missed.
Oh yeah, he will be missed for sure, because he was a funny motherfucker. He there's a thing. I can send it to you later too if you want to put it in there, but I know YouTube you can probably just link it or whatever, because if you look it up, Bob and Tom, Donnie Baker, fireworks safety. It's one of the earlier bits, like the voice is a little bit different than what he evolved to be in. But basically the whole bit is he's got to do community service because of, you know, probation or whatever, some shit. He broke probation again, you know. And so he's going to the office and they're like, well, you know, we got to do your community service or whatever. And he's like, well, we have a little help on the road crew, man. And he's like, man, don't put me in the harm's way, man. I got stuff I gotta do, man. I swear to God, don't put me out there. It's like, well, you know, something else. But then he's like, well, you know, man, can we hurry this up? I gotta get home and get some fireworks. You know, light out some fireworks, man. Shit, you know. Like, oh, you know about fireworks? Well, you know, we have this thing here. We want somebody to do a PSA on fireworks safety. Well, let me do that, man. Shoot, I love fireworks. So he's doing all this shit, and he's like, yeah, you know, 4th of July, shooting off fireworks is a 4th of July time-honored tradition, man. But always remember, alcohol and fireworks don't mix. So remember, always chug them before you light them. He was like, and remember, if you're underage, don't mess around with fireworks unless supervised by an adult or dared to by a cooler kid. He goes, this was my favorite part. He goes, one of the guys in the school, I think he named him or whatever, but one of the guys in the school dared me to light a fart with a firecracker. He was older and he wrestled, so I did. But I didn't get the timing right, man. I about blew the stripes off my Zubaz. I'm like, God damn.
Dang, that answers one question, leads and many more.
Well, what was the other one? If you get your hand blown off by fireworks, remember, always use the other hand to pick up the detached appendage. You don't want to look like a pussy in front of your friends.
Damn.
I mean, it was just, like I said, some of that older shit was funny too, but I mean, this dude was hilarious as hell. Fucking, yeah, he's gonna be missed by a lot of people.
Well,
like I said, man, fucking 52. 50 fucking 2, dude.
Well, that's why we gotta do what we can to keep people around and shit, man. I mean, it sucks that, but you know, I'm learning that as I get older. It's just you want to know that what really kind of gets me. A lot of that stuff I was said, like a lot of those phrases and saying that was said to me when I was younger. I wish, if I could go back in time, I wish that I had just shut the hell up and listened. Because all those phrases and all them stories I was taught could have saved me so much time in the thing that I was doing. I had people giving me, giving me great advice. I just thought I knew more.
You know, more than that, what I wish is that the people who said that shit to me would have actually, like, been able to explain that shit to me better. Because the thing is, a lot of us didn't listen because it's always sounds like the same empty cliches, the same, you know, this, that, and whatever. And like, at a certain point, you're wondering, do they really know what they're talking about, or are they just repeating shit that they heard too? Like, it just sounds good at the moment. Like, yeah, it's good advice, but you know, I don't know. There's just a lot of shit. Like, I wish I was explained a lot of shit a little bit more in depth back then. I would have understood better. Like, not that I didn't think that some of that shit wasn't solid advice, but
you know why they didn't elaborate.
You're giving information half-cocked, especially at a young age like that. You tend to just dismiss it all wholesale.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the thing. I mean, it was intended to be vague in a way. I mean, I think part of it was like they wanted us to think for ourselves too. I mean, they give us the clues and we'll get there at the very least. But I learned three funny things as opposed to those stories, and that's why I don't mind it being drawn to me from time to time. I mean, I learned, the value of basic instructions. Two, sometimes things really do need to be repeated. And three, you know, it can teach you, like, it pretty much taught me how to learn. I had to learn how to learn, which is
Yeah.
something that I think a lot of kids were not taught. Not only do you have to unlearn shit, but you also have to learn the best way for you to learn something. It's not always going to be the,
Yeah.
standard or whatever, but at least you have some kind of blueprint to work from. The only time you should be pissed is when you're not given one. You need one of
Well,
those for the most part.
the way they do anymore, you and I both know, especially, young boys and everything growing up in school, they expect them to be like young girls, like little girls. And so they treat you boys like they're defective girls, so they pump them full of Ritalin and all this other shit. And you wonder why a lot of young boys now have a lot of pent up frustration and hostility because they were never allowed to, to be boys, to explore, to, rip up shit. I mean, they were never allowed to actually explore and then do shit, on their own, in their own time, their own way.
That's the problem with teaching people, like, one way of doing things. If anything, like, you don't want bad guidance, but no guidance is just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole problem with it. You don't get from going.
It can't be Lord of the Flies up in here.
Yeah, that creates like unnecessary soldiers and shit too. I mean, It's more than just. And this is where people get this twisted. It's more than just, hey, let's go ride a dirt bike or go fishing or something. I mean, that it helps, but it's just being able to actually express yourself without getting extremely shamed behind it, like being told that the very hobby and interest that you have is somehow inherently bad, and you're inherently bad for liking it. Can't like this hero, can't like this art piece. Trying to one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life is people trying to make correlations out of the male fantasy. Oh, you like Captain Britannia or whatever because you want to be like him. You like Magneto because you want to throw a car at another human. No, I just like the damn character. I mean, like, the overanalyzation of, just that, it irks me to no end. And
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, it'd be cool to be able to pick up a car and fucking throw it. Yeah, but we know that's impossible. So it's like, even right then, a lot of that shit kind of goes out the window. It's like, yeah, I mean, okay, to some extent, there is some kind of, like, visceral, primal fucking thing, but no, it's not really. It's,
But you get what I mean, like, it angers me so much that you just, like, you can't even just like something for the sake of liking it. Oh, you like Frieza because you want to destroy a planet because you're like that. It's like, oh my fucking god, It's just the insane shit behind it.
Yeah.
And what it does is it makes people hate the fantasy. Like, in general. It makes it that. This is why, like, I had to grow up learning to keep my passions firmly to myself. Because I don't want some weird negative connotation being etched to something that's not important. And it's easy to tell that person not to care. But it's even easier for people not to shame that person for that. They just like that anime. Doesn't have to have a specific reason. They just like that particular version of fantasy. And to try to make a negative correlation of that is completely unfair. It robs them.
They like the story. They like the universe that's created with the way these characters act and the interaction and the whole thing. It's
That's why I just like I hate it because it has ruined so many things. Like, let fantasy be fantasy. At the end of the day, I try not to get butthurt about it, but it does make me mad because I had to grow up with that. And one of the reasons I don't like a lot of the modern stuff is because it's always black and white. Hero good, villain bad. It doesn't always have to be like that. Life isn't even like that.
No, I mean, some of the villains in a lot of these have very specific and very, especially very personal, understandable in some way reasons why they do what they do. I mean, and you were talking earlier before we started recording about one day kind of going more in depth on Final Fantasy VII. There's an argument to be had that Avalanche really were actually like this, and they were going around doing shit that, terrorizing and fucking pushing their will upon people. Like, there could have been a different or a better way to do that shit. You can actually, in some way or another, paint Avalanche as the bad guys. But at the same time, they felt what they were doing was justified. And even Shinra, even though they knew, you got to be aware at some point in time of kind of corporate greed and the bottom line and all this and that other shit. But at the same time, they also knew that so many people depended upon them that, well, in a way, we kind of got to defend our position now because in some way it's morally and ethically wrong to just let everything go all to shit, knowing all these people now depend upon us, like whether or not we're actually going to do the extra steps to, switch over to ease up people off the Mako energy and, then whatever is whatever. But yeah, we can't just stop doing what we're doing, and we have to defend in order to keep a lot of people alive because we know they're dependent upon us too. So it's not black and white. There's nuance, there's subtlety, there's fucking different points of view, and it's the trolley question, If you remember that.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I remember the trolley question. I mean, but that's the whole thing, and that's why I get like so insanely like fucking pissed about that shit. It's like I'm getting tired of everything being overly simplified to just black and white. There's a nuance to it. There's complexity to it. When people look at everything as just black and white, it's like, why even watch the story? Like, why even freaking watch it?
Well, because people have to pick a side, and if you don't have a clearly defined side, then there's nothing really to rally against or rally behind, and there are not enough people, and people want the easiest way out, people want the easiest way in. And so if you can black and white this shit and one side or the other, if you can make it a binary and then you can pick one or the other, it makes picking a side easier. It makes the parameters of the side definable in some way, shape, or form that it's like, okay, now it's us against them. As where, the subtlety and the nuance, you really don't know where people stand, and you really don't have a cause to rally behind because there's so many questions, so many whys, what ifs. Well, because people are the same ones, and this is funny too, the same ones bitching about tribalism and racism and nationalism are the same ones that fucking beat their drum about their own tribe as far as their political ideologies. I mean, it's not called the Church of Woke for nothing.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, like, what kind of gets me about a lot of this is like people can't see their own fucking hypocrisy.
Oh, no.
That's why I call it insecurity. They can't even see their own fucking hypocrisy. I mean, there have been times I've liked the hero, the villain. I mostly like the anti-hero. But anytime somebody's watching a piece of like just anything, and it's just within the first 2 episodes, okay, these guys are automatically the good guys because it's like, no. That doesn't make them just because you do a good thing does not make you an automatic hero or a good person. Just because you do a bad thing does not make you automatically a villain. When you have a story that is told from the perception of, I mean, people will always make themselves the hero of their own story, especially when it's told from their fucking perception. If
God,
that same story was told from the
every-
hero's perception.
Everybody wants to be the main character.
That's the whole thing about it. And it's just like, it's just so crazy that it's like the simplest thing. I had shows, when I was growing up, I had shows practically ruined for me due to the simple fact that, like, I'm not trying to divulge some deep meaning from it, and then when I actually am, it's like completely missed. It's like, the older I get, the more I'm able to understand the villains. Doesn't mean I sympathize with them, but I empathize with them, at the very least. Sephiroth being one of them. Made a video about that, actually. To me, he was just a guy that got tired of being a hero. You can't keep shaming somebody and whooping their ass and telling them to go out there to, go fight a war again. Not everybody want to do that. And you can't keep ringing that bell, because eventually something is gonna give. And the problem is, nobody wants to take accountability when that does happen. I mean, yeah, there's guys like me and you that will, but for the vast majority, they will not take that accountability because they cannot bear the weight, because it will point out their negligence towards seeing it in the first place. Nobody likes a warrior at the gate until you need one. Then when they don't need you, it's like, get the hell out of here. That's the whole thing about it. You don't let the werewolves in the village. You don't let the barbarians in the village. And that's the whole thing about it. Like, when you have the greater responsibility of having to consider all of that, that's when you truly learn accountability. Because you have to deal with the fallback from all of it, whether you're involved or not. And that's the whole, that's like the whole thing about it that upsets me about the current cultural climate that we live in. And life may not have been perfect, man, but at least we were taught some sense of values, at the very least. And one of these days, we're really going to have to analyze that Final Fantasy 7 thing. Because Final Fantasy 7 and 8 has so much stuff in it. You can make a myriad of videos about the two games alone, character-wise.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things. But man, I get tired of this dumbing down or watering down the shit, and there's no longer complexity. Things that need to be complex, overly simplified in disastrous ways, and things that are simple are overly complicated. And that's why I often say I don't like it. I don't like to overcomplicate simplicity. I don't like that. It's just, to me, it's annoying. It's disrespectful. I don't appreciate it. I never will, for the most part. Like this, it's like a hoity-toity kind of way to be, and I don't like that lukewarm thing.
It's pompous. A lot of people out here, pompous bullshit. Like you said, the pedantic, the pompous, the fucking, splitting hairs, well, technically, you know what I mean, trying to argue some shit.
I mean, hell, they putting on a show without even a stage. I mean, that's the craziest thing about it. Like, people want to argue semantics instead of what the hell it actually is and how it's supposed to function. And that's the issue. I mean, the moment I see a major time sink going in there, man, I'm already up and out the door, because like, you would think you get more patient as you get older. It's the opposite for me. I'm getting less patient as I get older.
No, fucking shit. And you hit that kind of crossroads of, how much bullshit you're willing to put up with and how many fucks you're willing to give. And there's a big fucking crossroads there at about the age of 40, 45. And the older you get, the less you give a shit, because the less all this trivial bullshit matters, because your time is more and more limited. There's more, there's shit you need to do, and you've seen a lot of this coming, and so it's, the more time goes on, the less you just give a damn about shit that don't matter.
man. That's the thing. I mean,
dude, I'm to the point. I don't give a damn anymore. I don't put up with shit anymore.
I'm
just
reaching
don't
it,
care.
man.
I mean, dude, what's so funny? Like I said, driving this fucking truck and everything. I've been driving for 6 years. I've seen it all, almost seen it all. People pulling goofy fucking maneuvers. People go all the way from the left lane, cut 3 damn lanes, 4 lanes, no signal within about 600 feet, and hit the exit. Like you didn't know you were getting off on that exit a mile or so back. No, you had to wait to the last 500 feet and then just right on over. Fuck all that. I've seen people drive the wrong way down a highway, 4-lane highway. I've seen vehicles on fire. I've seen people cut people off. I've seen road rage, brake checks, people throwing shit at people. I've had shit thrown at me, cigarette butts, gum, this and that. And you know what? I've seen so much and whatever anymore that I don't even get mad anymore. I mean, I might still kind of commentary and what the fuck you do that for, or yeah, asshole, pick a lane, but I mean, like, as far as like getting enraged and pounding the steering wheel and I'm gonna fuck with this fucker, I'm gonna get in front of him and I'm gonna no, I don't care anymore. I commentary mainly to vent, like, see, yeah, what good that do you, fucker? And that's it. Like, it just other than that, really don't even piss me off anymore. I mean, like, dude, anytime I go through like fucking major cities and shit's kind of backed up, or bumper to bumper, rush hour, or fucking construction, I just light up a fucking smoke and just cruise on through it, whatever. It's so old hat that it's it don't even faze me anymore. And it's funny because it seems like to me with some people it's the exact opposite. I mean, there's just people just raging like a son of a bitch. When it's going to take you an hour and a half to get across town and you're supposed to get it there within a 2-hour window, any kind of snag, hook up, hang up, yeah, you gonna cut corners. Like, no, I'd rather not have the stress. And that's, So I said that's bullshit saturation for me. I've just, so much shit I've seen, I just don't care anymore. I just let them pass. I just slow down, let them go. Because at the end of the day, my license and my job is more important than where the hell, they gotta go. Even if it means letting them get where the hell they want to go. You might wreck and fall over in a fucking ditch somewhere, and I'll still have my license and be driving tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
But no, dude. I mean, and I'm having to start calling out my own family members and my own, people around me on their bullshit too. Because I'm just tired of. Yeah, is what they're saying or what they're doing really affecting me personally? No. It's the hypocrisy.
But yeah, like I was saying, I mean, I agree. And the whole thing with me and all the stuff that's happened in my life, I don't allow people to just come running in and out of my house. Nor am I going to fight for respect in my own environment, in my own house, or, walk around on eggshells with people. That's the one thing that I refuse to do as I get older. And that's why it pains me, because these were things that were taught to us, like, maybe not heavily, or maybe it was done vaguely, but we just, it's a universal thing. It's just ingrained that we don't do these things, and it's really messed up. It just feels like that high school phase hasn't been passed by a lot of people. I done learned about so many different things and just so many words in general that have never meant anything to me, and probably never will, because I don't practice that way of life. I just live and I do what I gotta do, but guidance is just a necessary thing, People complain about the stuff that happens in society. you teach that. And if you don't teach that, you end up with what we got. When people don't learn from history or mistakes, they are doomed to repeat it. And so that's why wisdom and knowledge are just two very different things. I mean, you need the knowledge before you can really gain the wisdom. I mean, you can have intuition and all of that, but you have to have a foundation. And people either laugh when I say that sometimes or whatever, but it's true. What we're looking at right now is a lack of that. And I'm not saying things have to be hardcore one way or the other, but it is truly, disappointing when you have to hear about topics that you would have never heard about 10, 20 years ago. And I'm just not going to be one of those dudes that sits there when I'm an old man and have someone scream at me, "No, let me educate you." No, middle fingers out. I'm just going to be there flipping people off because I'm not saying an old person can't learn new things, but it's just, that's more important for somebody else. Whatever that person believes or did, that's where they're at. And most people are very unwilling to change their perception once they've reached a stage in life. The only thing you do is hope they change their mind or go easy on what they gotta do or whatever.
Well, I mean, people are, we're all a part of this big, universe, cosmos, whatever, and the universe always tends to slide toward entropy. Just the lowest, energy state. And I think a lot of people have just gotten apathetic too. And as I've mentioned to you before, like, it didn't seem like there were a lot of people in my life growing up that really were there to mentor or try to teach me. There was a few. I had a great uncle, taught me a lot of stuff. Vietnam vet, Green Beret. This dude was just like, had a thirst for knowledge for anything. I mean, if he had something he wanted to do, some craft, some hobby, something, like, he would go out of his way to find it. And his kids, they're like second or third cousins or whatever, mine down the line, I think second cousins, they're doing great. They're married, they've had kids, they've got good careers, all this and that. Like, they're very well-rounded and intelligent people. And it's because, his thirst for knowledge and his passing on, down the line. My mother just babysitted the television. And she kind of had that attitude as well. As long as you don't die and don't burn the house down and don't bother me, we're fine. So I think there's a lot. I mean, I've grown up around a lot of kids like that, where they're just let to roam free and aimless, and it does cause a lot of problems. It does tend to lead to what we've got going on today, where nobody really cares about anybody or anything but themselves. They just, the newest thing on TV, the newest, fad, the newest trend, the newest whatever,
Not to mention, I mean, it's hard to really teach anybody, like, anybody that just roamed in that way. It's very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to learn anything on their own. It just makes it hard to mentor or teach somebody like that. I mean, looking back at some of my...
There is a certain amount of, you got to be born with, or, have that in you from the beginning too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
some kids have decent parents, and these kids just, for lack of a better term, are just shitheads. But somebody like me, I didn't really have the mentoring from my direct family, and yet I had the thirst for knowledge. I wanted to learn a lot of this stuff. I wanted to know at an early age how to cook and take care of myself, and all these other life skills and different things. And I read all the time, and Like, I wanted to know this stuff. I mean, it was just that drive in me.
Well, the thing about it
Despite,
is you need both
my
of
mom.
you need both of these things, you know. There were times in my life where I wish things had been explained to me more directly. I'm a bit thankful that it was explained in a vague way. I didn't know that was their way of teaching. And I mean, things I learned from my dad, you know, grandparents and whatnot. I mean, I remember being told that he told me, I remember being told that there will be times where you will do the right thing and people will hate you for it. And it's going to piss you off and make you upset.
Yeah.
But stand tall and live with some level of honor and integrity. As long as you know and you have that, that's the important thing. I mean, people are going to say what they say. Defend your character at all costs, but people are going to say what they say. The object should not be to be Mr. Head Honcho or to be Mr. Feared by all. And I think that's the one thing that people forget.
Yeah, that's no way to live, lead, or rule or anything is, by fear. That's no way to.
That people fear you enough, they'll fight you. And it's almost the same thing with learning too. Like some of my friends that weren't given a chance when I was growing up, younger me would have said, "Oh, that's messed up." Older me fully understands why. Cause here you have somebody willing to help you, and then you look a gift horse in the mouth, and then you shit test them and go after them. Even if you are skilled or you have a skill, it shows an unwillingness to learn, along with an unjustified, unnecessary fixed opinion. So you can't teach somebody like that. Because even if they're, proven wrong in an area, they'll act as if, you're trying to disprove them on everything. When that's not the case, you're literally just telling them, okay, maybe there's another way to do this.
I was just thinking about that. The situation with a few people I've been dealing with here lately. I'm trying my best to help these people. I'm trying not to be too specific, on the show here, but I'm trying my best to help these people. And they're in a situation it's like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to take care of this. I don't know how to do that. Well, all right, well, we can start here and we can do this and this and that, and this and that thing could be done too. And what the hell do I want to do that for? Like, well, why did you even ask me? Like, what was the point of even coming up to me? What, do you want me to do it for you? Or we'll be talking about something and I don't know, they want my opinion on something. They want me to, this and that. And they ask me questions, or telling me this, and so I'm asking them questions about, okay, so where was this person, and when did this event happen, and was it here, and like I said, I'm trying to be real vague, but my asking a lot of questions to get every detail straight, I got snapped back at. Well, I just hate when you do that. You just make me feel like I'm stupid or something. I need to know all the information to make a well-informed guess. I'm not telling you you're stupid. You want my advice. I need to know all that I can in order to give you the best advice that I can. And I think here lately with a lot of other things, just talking to these people in general, this one person, just talking to these people in general about anything on my mind, anything, just letting the train of thought kind of go where it goes. And it's almost as if they're looking at me like I'm lording something over them, or I'm out to make them look stupid, or I don't know, like I haven't got around to telling them, but I'm about ready to the point like, look, I'm having enough trouble taking care of myself, other than the fact that your family, I don't give a shit about you that much to lord any knowledge or life skill, or I'm not trying to get one up over on you. I mean, be honest with you, like I said, as a matter of fact, I would like to try to teach them enough so that
other than like hanging out, he goes the fuck away.
Well, that's the
You know,
whole thing.
he's not dependent on me on every little move. He can whatever, and then we can when we do get together, it's purely for shits. You
I got the
know,
same problem with my friend's kid, man. This is why, like, I think it's really crazy, like, when people do this. I had friends do this growing up. They try to quiz and bullshit the person who is freely helping them. And if they don't like the instructor, the instructions, okay, then they can do it their own way. They can find somebody else. The whole thing about it. I mean, it's just being told like, oh, I bet you're really proud of yourself for what you've done. I mean, the thing about it is like, whenever I analyze something or I do something, anything that I've led, funny enough, about 90% of the time tends to run smoothly because I oversee what's going on. I try to involve myself, even when things I don't know about. I may never fully master or learn that particular thing, but at least I go, oh, okay, I didn't know that, you know.
yeah.
But I'm very proud of the things that I am good at. And, you know, it's like the worst thing in the world is, okay, maybe somebody's wrong about one thing. But imagine I go up to somebody who's like just mastered plumbing. And they got like 30, 40 years of plumbing. And then I sit there and go, oh, he just likes the smell of the pipes. Like, first of all, who the hell knows why he does it? Second of all, I need this person to explain this to me. It creates an unnecessary waste of time, and I just can't really operate or work like that. Like, I'd rather people just know what they know so that I don't have to, you know, have that conversation. It's a major waste of time, and I can't imagine anything productive happening in that kind of setting. So, not only did I have to learn, I also had to learn to be effective with things, and all of that comes with like sense of, you know, just leading things. But yeah, I'll never understand that mentality of look a gift horse in the mouth. I've always avoided that.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, there's a difference too between like once you know something or you're good at something, and well, like I know you're saying like people quizzing you, like almost. There's a difference between genuinely asking you about your career and what you do at a genuine interest, or whether or not they're like, well, I think I know. Let's see how much he really knows. Like, you know, like I don't know. Like, I since I've been driving truck and everything, I come across a lot of people that genuinely ask me, oh, you know, what's it like, and what do you got to go through, and oh, there's a certain hours you can drive, right? And I explain it to them, and you know, like they genuinely are interested. But then, and it, you know, a lot of times, at least with trucking, it's you get the horse shit laterally. I mean,
It's
I've
like,
never seen such an elitist fucking industry as trucking. If you ain't been driving for so long, if you didn't get your license for a certain way, if you ain't driving the right kind of truck, if you're not pulling the right kind of freight, if you're not this, if you're not that, you ain't a real trucker. And it's like, well, motherfucker, I haul freight across the country and hold a steering wheel just like you do. I think we're all truckers, but yeah, you get that shit from truckers laterally. They want to quiz you on everything. You have a bad day and you kind of back into a space a little bit, you know, sideways because you're tired and shit. Well, how the fuck long you been driving? Can't you hit the fucking hole? Like, I bet you can't hit that motherfucker every time either after whatever. You know, sometimes you're tired. Fucking
dude,
leave me alone. Like,
dude, I've had that same thing happen to me numerous times in life. People will criticize how I do something, but they would never pick up a mic or get on the stage. I mean, like, damn. Like, if it's so easy, then just do it. I issue that challenge like multiple times, and no one ever picks up that gauntlet. It seems easy when you're not the one doing it, but that's like me, you know, living in some medieval time period, going up to a blacksmith and going, oh, you know how to use that hammer? You sure that hammer's the right size? Is that iron or steel? How do you know? You know, are you giving in to the passion of flames?
Yeah.
Like,
How well is it tempered? Was it,
I mean, were you punched as a kid? Did it make you want to make swords and hammers? Just stuff
was the
completely unrelated to it.
was the iron mined by child labor, or did you get a bitch to do it? Like,
just some insane ass
was
shit.
is that some vegan, organic, homegrown iron ore there, sir? I don't.
And
I'm trying
that's
to
the thing with
I'm
me.
being
Like, I respect the craft. Even if I hate somebody's craft, I will respect the craft. I ain't gonna bother going after something I know somebody. If I know that Bob up the street, he's all about plumbing. Joe down the hill, all about electrician stuff. That's great. I am not gonna waste my time trying to quiz them on it.
Well,
If they, I look at the track history of stuff. If somebody got a good track
yeah.
record for the most part, I'm going to operate under the assumption that they know how to do the thing that they've been doing for most of their damn life to some degree.
I mean,
And if
I'd
they
be the
don't, find
type
somebody else.
if I knew the guy up on the hill and the guy down, whatever, the electrician and the plumber, and I had some wild idea to make, I don't know, some whiz bang electric fucking rocket toilet or some shit. I'd get together with both of them and go, hey, I got an idea for something. you want to dick around, like, I'm sitting there thinking, well, damn, he knows about plumbing and this guy knows about electricity, and I've got a fucked up imagination. Like,
The
all
saying
three of
is,
us together, we could be dangerous. Like,
I mean, the craziest part about this is like that's how I've always led and run things. I didn't want to lead anything when I was a kid. I just got kind of stuck with the position. And this is why I always use like RPG logic when it comes to this. I remember when I was a kid, there was this game, Kingdom Hearts. It, you could
oh
pick a
yeah,
sword
I'll
or
fight it.
shield or the wand. I would always pick the wand, and because I like magic and stuff. And what was really funny about this is just like real life, there's some people that are suited to be a mage or a tank or a warrior. It's not that they
Yeah.
can't do anything else. It's just this is how funny I am with it. Uh, because I've had stuff like this happen in real life. It's just more of an analogy, and to the people watching this, this really be what it's like. Imagine, okay, I have a sword. I'm the warrior. I go out there, two-handed sword. I'm swinging, fighting everything at the gate. Mage cast the wrong spell. I look at him. Hey, bro, thanks for the fire spell. It kind of singed me down here. Well, you don't want to, you don't know how to cast spells. You're right. You know how to cast them, though, right? Yeah? Then do it effectively. I am not about to tell you how to do.
Stop roasting my marshmallows, damn it.
It's like, then do the thing that you do effectively. I'm not gonna tell you how to cast. Like, don't tell me how to cast spells. I'm not telling you how to cast spells. I'm telling you to cover my ass with the spells
Yeah.
that you possess. I don't care whether you have to cast ice, whatever. Just, I don't want to get hit by the splash damage. So can you do the job that you claim you can do effectively so that I don't have to complain or say shit? Kind of easy.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the tank. Mr. Tank, you want to kind of get in front of me? Couldn't help but notice I'm in the front here. You want to kind of, take 4 steps ahead of me? That kind of thing. It's not the job. Like, the thing with me is, not my job to tell mage how to cast spells. I don't want to.
Or like tank when you're pulling,
Yeah.
Don't pull something that we just all gonna take one little hit off of and ain't gonna get shit off of. But don't bring over that big sumbitch that's gonna wipe us all out either. Like when you go pull something, within our ability that'll get us the maximum amount of experience with the least amount of getting fucked up.
But yeah, you see like the crazy arrogance behind this. Whether somebody sucks at something or whether they're good at it is like besides the point, because the fact is like they are there in that moment in time. And I used to play like little MMOs and tanks. I had like the funniest conversation with a tank. He goes, well, do you have a shield? I said, no, but you do. I mean, hell, sounds like a weird personal issue at that point. I mean, like, I'm not about to tell you what to do with your shield. I shouldn't have to. I'm irritated that this is even a conversation. If anything, figure that shit out. Whether you suck, whether you're good at it, we're here in this fight now. Sort that shit out. If I can help in any way, then great. It's not my job to tell people they're professional, even how to do it. I'd rather not ever have to say anything about that because I'm too busy focused on trying to do my job. And that's the thing with that. Life works the same damn way. Any type of like flow of anything, that's how it works. But there's a lot of people that want to bust rank and cut the line, and what it does is it trips everybody. And now, you know, it's like sweeping the leg. That's why I get mad about. That reminds me of Remember the Titans, that movie. You know, one coach told the kid to go out there and do that, and the other one said, "Why are you sweeping my leg like that?" Because he didn't give that particular run by play-by-play. It worked, but still, you know, you have to be able to follow a direction before you should be able to give it. You know, that's why to me the best leaders at some point were good followers. They know how to follow instructions. You got to know how to follow them before you give them. Helps.
Well,
Anyway, I'm
it's like
sorry for that
whole
rant.
thing
What
of,
the hell?
you know, it's like the whole thing with, you know, you hear that a lot too, like in, you know, in the army and war, or I mean anything really, is that, you know, as a leader you don't ask your men to do anything that you yourself couldn't or wouldn't do either. Like the difference between, you know, an effective and an ineffective leader is a lot of times your leader, if they're effective, will be down there getting dirty with you. You know, you got a lot more respect for somebody who, yeah, is your leader, but they ain't standing up on a hill, you know, swilling a goblet of sherry and smoking a cigar and, you know, playing with his cock and balls and trying to point out where everybody's going to go. Like, he's down there swinging a sword and cutting heads off too.
That's the way I've always seen it. I mean, like, a lot of people think just being a leader is just giving people orders. You go here, you go there. Yeah, you get.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that idea.
I'm just gonna be the boss and give people orders. And here's the thing: you may receive air quote most of the glory when things are successful, but you receive all the blame when it's not. So.
Yep. Like,
that's the whole thing about it.
The sword of Damocles. What was that? I can't remember the actual like name of the. There was a parable or something like that, or it could have been where it was one guy wanted to be king so bad. He was talking to the king and like, well, your job is just easy. Your job is this. Your job is that. And the king goes, all right, be king for a day. I'll trade with you. And so they trade, and he's sitting there at the and on the throne, and he looks up and he sees this sword hanging by a real thin thread. And he goes, wait a minute, you didn't tell me about it. What's that? That's the burden I've got to face. At any minute, that thing could come down and cut my head off. Oh, well, I don't want to be king now. No. You said you wanted to be king. You know, that comes with it, too. Like, you didn't think about that, did you? I know I butchered the story.
But yeah, they never do. That's why I listen to cautionary tales. I mean, sometimes the court jester be telling you everything you need to know about that kingdom if you pay close enough attention. I mean...
Oh yeah.
You can tell how free you are based on how free the court jester is. So it's just something for people to really consider. You know, they see the end results, but they don't see the process or the burden that one on takes with that. And it can get to you. Even if you're the strongest person in the world, it will piss you off. It can get to you. That's why you need to be able to have that relaxing moment in there. But I don't like it when people want to try to, you know, instruct how to lead, but they're not willing to take no position. Hi, I'm not going to take a side or position, but da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, is this advice or is this a command? I mean, like, what's up? You know, that's kind of the whole thing, like, about that. And it's kind of like this. Like, let's say you see a group of bandits or marauders or whatever, and they have no leader. There is no way in hell that is going to function in any kind of way, and even if it did, let's just say it did, it'll be short-lived. And even if you catch
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple of them, it won't matter. Because once again, no leader, there's no one to blame. You can blame the whole horde of bandits, but there's no specific individual to blame. It's just, okay, we got raided one night, now we gotta, like, couldn't catch them all, now we gotta worry about getting raided another night, just damn it.
Well, but I mean, even within the group of marauders, it'd be pure bedlam. Everybody would be taking everything that wasn't nailed down, and they'd walk away with a lot of useless shit, or walk away with, you know, I don't know, too much of one thing, or hell, fuck around with the wrong person. Next thing you know, revenge is coming your way. You know, off somebody or something, and you didn't know it was some dignitary somewhere the next land over, and next, you got a whole army coming after your ass. I mean, there's just a lot of things. I mean, I would say the pure bedlam, just taking everything that ain't nailed down. Then next thing you know, it's like, why ain't y'all moving that fast? Oh, because you're carrying, 100 pounds a piece worth of useless shit. But it's just, you can't go indiscriminately just go, laying waste to everything in front of you. That's, like you said, it ends up short-lived. That's the way you make enemies. Like, I mean, you can make enemies doing all the marauding anyway, but you do it right, like hell, you can convince people, hey, come aboard, be with us. We could be twice as big. And no, you just pillaging everything that moves. Everybody else will gather. We got to stop these assholes. like it ain't no fun. So some of us like, well, shit, we ain't even getting a cut out of it either. Then they ain't gonna be the only ones on the block.
That's the whole thing. You get people running out there increasing their profile, and not even in a good way. I mean, when you're known as a damn tyrant or some crap, I mean, what the hell you expect at that point?
See, this is a prime example of, I just thought about this. It was, weird experiment or whatever thing we did. Funny enough, it was in this one computer class, but the whole thing was, we split the class up into two groups. And I mean, it was like 10, 11 or so of us on each side. And the whole thing was, we all sat in like put chairs around in like a circle. And we all sit around in this circle, each team did. And our wrists were tied together, or tied to each other. So my left hand was tied to somebody else's right hand, their left to somebody else's right, all tied up like that. And the goal was, we were given paper and scissors and tape. And the goal was within, I think, 10 minutes to make the longest paper chain, other than the other one that you could, in the time, with everybody's hands tied together. And so, like, I don't know what the hell the other team was doing, but I'm sitting there thinking, well, I think I know how we can do this. And I'm like, okay, well, who's got the scissors over there? All right, you start cutting strips of paper, and then you over there with the tape, just start pulling off strips of tape and this and that. And then, somebody will pinch and hold, and somebody else reach and tape. And I said, now we got a couple of links. Maybe you can cut two strips at the same time or whatever like that. Build this chain out from the middle, like each end, instead of like, 1, 1, 1. Everybody's on each end, like making, and at the end of like the 10 minutes or some shit like that, fucking, we all got up. They showed their fucking string of shit, and the damn thing, I don't know, it may have been like 8 feet, 10 feet, something like that. Ours ended up fucking going across the room, like almost 20 some fucking feet. And they looked at us like, how in the hell did you guys make that so long, so quick? Well, I mean, teamwork. Like, it's because, we did the smart thing. We had somebody doing this, we had somebody doing that, and we worked from both ends of the chain instead of, one link at a time. We're dividing everything up, and like, we got this chain at both ends, just, linking them up. And yeah, but it was just like, I immediately, it's one of those things, like, I didn't really want to, you know, push myself up as a leader. I didn't really even see myself as a leader, but it just immediately clicked with me. Like, if we're going to beat them other people, like, somebody's going to do this, somebody's going to do that. And, you know, in that situation, I stepped up.
I mean, it's a survivalist thing. I mean, it's kind of ingrained in us for, you know, thousands, millions of years and stuff. It's what keeps, you know, everything running smoothly. But when you remove those, you know, you gotta have adversity in life. You know, if you don't have adversity, you're not gonna learn nothing. Nothing's gonna go well. So,
Well, that whole saying of, if you don't go through the bad times, you'll never appreciate the good times.
yeah, so it's you know, give and take with that. But it's good to be able to operate in such conditions. I mean, like even from a kid, you know, shouldn't seek bad things, but like just be it thought experiments or just take of it or just building something. You gotta be able to, you know, think or construct something before you can do anything with it. It's like that anime, you know. You ever watch Full Metal Alchemist?
Good part of it.
Well,
It was
I'll
one of
tell
those
you.
things where I think I got to. Damn, I can't even remember now. I mean, it was a good bit into it, but I didn't watch nearly all of it. I should have.
Well, basically, you know, they like Ed, you know, puts his hands together and they transmute stuff in this anime. But the thing about it is, you're taking something and turning it into something new. You're not really changing the material that it's made out of. But they have to have the knowledge in order, you know, to do that. And I thought that was kind of cool, you know, be able to go Doom and just do that.
For the most part, all you're doing is rearranging molecules, rearranging the atomic structure. And I mean, even I got far enough in it to where, like, they even knew, like, exactly what it was in what proportion, down to the T, of what constituted a human being. But it was forbidden to transmute a human being because there was something also extra. Well, I think the whole playing God thing too, but there was just something extra in a human being that they could not account for. And so even that, it was like, okay, you know, should we, and really, could we? Where is that?
The
It
thing
was, you
is,
know,
they couldn't make a soul. I mean, there's no
that's
ingredient really for
that's
that.
what it was. Yeah, there's no, that's
So
where
they
you
got
had
punished.
the homunculi later on. They seem to be a product of all this mismanaged and misused, you know, taboo side of the the alchemy that they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, to those of you watching, it's a really good anime. I mean, be it Brotherhood, the original. I mean, they're both. To me, it's just really good to be able to see that. And my favorite character was Major Hughes because he, you know, relatable personality. He knew when to be funny, knew when to be serious. He prioritized the Elric brothers. More importantly, he didn't see them as like really. I mean, they were kids, but he viewed them as state alchemists that happened to be kids for the most part, as opposed to the other way around. And he gave them that, you know, nod, and that's that type of guidance. He wasn't in every scene, obviously, that they were in, but he would give them guidance, but he wouldn't like try to ram it down their throat. It's like, hey, come to me when you need something. I'll help you out best I can. Ain't gonna jeopardize your stuff. Don't jeopardize mine. That kind of thing. And so it's, you know, it's good to have that. But yeah, this has been a really good video, and thinking about calling this the Experience Lounge or something. I mean, for this part 2, if I haven't already called it that.
This was a nice bull session, though. Yeah, so, drawing it out like that and everything. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to put it into 2 sections, maybe 3. But
Yeah, I think this probably gonna be in 2 parts, probably. Being like this part probably being the secondary, because folks, we did talk for a long time. Anything not in there is just due to either clips or jokes or whatever. But this final clip I'm about to show, I think, covers it pretty well. You get older, you learn how to learn. You learn things in a way that's good for you, what works for you, and anything you can't use, just throw in the trash. I mean, but never stop seeking to inform yourself. Never stop reading. Never stop improving yourself. And there'll be days where you get sad, depressed, and all that stuff. I'm not gonna tell you ignore it or power through it. Just do your best to try to understand. Live with your eyes open, read with understanding, etc. And any words you want to add on this, Mike?
well, I mean, I think we about covered it all. It's just the way things are going in society. We gotta stand back and analyze where we, how we got here, and try to find a way to course correct. But you're not gonna reach everybody, and what I've found too. I mean, we both agree that, like, with especially the way pop culture is and everything, there's always that saying of be the change you want to see. Form the world the way you'd like it to be. I mean, and every journey starts with a step. It starts with the effort, and so yeah, pretty much. I just want to work on myself, and and work on my attitude towards things. Talk to other people, get like-minded people, just maybe create and do stuff, and I don't know, just try to forge our own little thing. And if it catches on, it catches on. But yeah, really not good at and I'm a little bit tired too at this point. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been a long night, but wish I could be a little bit more effective in that. But I mean, that's the way I mean, it's mainly what this whole conversation has kind of overarchingly been about. And from what I'm guessing, like what you would want to do going forward in these videos, in these you said the experience, right?
Thinking about calling experience couch. I don't know. If anyone watching this video, if you come up with a good name for these, let me know, because this is us just really just shooting the shit for the most part. A good break from all the other hustle and bustle and everything. And I would do more live streams of old games, but I gotta free up my time schedule for that. But this is let me know lengthwise what you're comfortable with, because this could have been one super long 4-hour video. May have to just break it up into 1 hour, but we'll just 1 hour 50 or something. But we'll see how it goes, folks.
And it probably won't be the only time. I mean, there's been a lot of times we've been talking, and it's like, damn, we should have recorded that. Yeah, we should have recorded that too.
A lot of thought-provoking things, and conclusions that we come to. Like, man, I wish we had wrote that down and recorded that, because I like to revisit stuff like that and go, damn, that was a really good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, that's about all I got.
No worries, brother. I think I'm gonna end this video. And to everyone watching, check out Mike's channel. I'll put that in the link description.
I got 2 of them. Conspicuously Incredible Studio, which is supposed to be the main, and I'm going to try to work on that. But the Conspicuously Incredible Gaming is just where I play games poorly. So that's the thing. And I'm trying to work on my branding more, and like my, because I've also got a graphic novel that I'm trying to work on. I want to do music and different stuff later on too. Maybe dabble in making video games, just I mean any and everything, you know, that I kind of find creative and interests me. So that's kind of where I'm going to be doing my stuff under that banner.
And I think that's a good thing. I mean, anyone out there, if you can draw or animate or anything, hit us up. You know, we'll see what can be done. And this has been Kozmic Kitsuneame, or Fox as some would say it, and thank you for watching this video. Enjoy the clip, and peace.
I can't take it anymore. I gotta blow out some steam or something.
2 words. Titty bar. Just gonna throw that out there.
Totally. 2 more words. Potato skins.
I got a better idea. We return to suckle the teat of hate that once nourished us like so much butterfly-themed Romulus and Remus.
So yes to the strip club?
No! We are going to f up an empty venture compound!
Your wife isn't gonna like that.
Whatever! When did this happen? Last thing I remember, I was planting dynamite under Venture's baby blue Jeep.
Oh, that was the best.
Oh, yeah, that plunger thing you pushed down? So classic. Oh, we need to get an anvil and drop that on him.
Sweet. Or a round bomb.
Oh, the black ones with the fuse? I love those. Well, look at my life now. Hatred's become a job. I had true hatred with Venture. I didn't have to fake it. That sweet loathing just poured out of me whenever I saw his pathetic face. I just wanted to kick his ass. I wanted to build a machine to kick his ass. I wanted to build an empire to house the machine to kick his ass.
And by God, let's go take a dump in his pool.